1, 2, 3, 4.
In this podcast, you will hear Knights of Vader, Knights of Vader includes, but is not limited to talk of Star Wars, not ray guns. We can't truly prepare you for the jump that follows this song, but hey, we gave it a try. So here's the Knights of Vader. Crystal Fox reports they are divided. Prequel, sequel, and love they fight. I know that we are just musicians hired, and their time is up. So here's the Knights of Vader.
Impressive. Most impressive.
A big thank you to An Inspiriority Complex for providing our theme song. It is February 25th, 2024. My name is Zach Weber, and joining me is reserved Chris Porteous.
Happy to be here to discuss Project Necromancer.
And we have, for I Am the Destroyer of Retail, Joe.
Hello, everybody. I am back.
And joining us, a week and a half removed from the Super Bowl, Jason Kelsey's on the call. Zenger, I never realized.
How the crap? I have gotten this. This is the fourth time. This is the fourth time someone said that. What the?
Zenger, I saw a picture of him. I'm like, Zenger? I'm like, I see the Super Bowl like box. I'm like, Zenger had to like take a moment and be like, Zenger would be telling us if he was invited to
you
Super
are the
Bowl.
fourth. This is the fourth time this has been brought up, and I'm like, what? How? What? Why?
It's not your fault,
No,
Zenger. You've had
no,
this
the
look for
best
years.
part is-
He's the problem.
Two of the people went, "Oh, you look like Travis Kelce's brother."
Don't even know his name.
Don't even
He's
know
Travis
his
Kelsey's
name.
brother.
It's Travis Kelce's brother, and the only reason they know Travis Kelce is because he's dating Taylor Swift.
You're lucky you got told like you weren't like Taylor Swift's like boyfriend's like
Brother.
Like that would be even rough.
Oh, don't worry. Give it time. Apparently, this get up I've got right now, it's just I didn't ask for this life.
Whew, all right, folks. So we are discussing on this week's episode the Bad Batch Season 3 initial 3 episodes on top of all other sorts of Lucasfilm Star Wars shenanigans. We have more rumors surrounding Galactic Guardians, Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Yay.
We have Gina Carano suing Lucasfilm thanks to oh god, what's our nickname for Elon Musk? What are we calling him? Grand Admiral? What did Rob call him? Elon Musk is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
That would work.
He said he looks like him.
He said that. He says like because Rob asked where's Pierce Brosnan, and we're like, that's not technically a thing, Rob. And he's like, then Elon Musk, and it's like, okay. We have those rumors. We have OG Star Wars Battlefront getting re-released, which I imagine Zenger's excited about.
Let's do this. Already bought it.
Already bought it, and it's been canceled.
Dang it.
I know, right? Womp womp.
Guess I'll just go play myself in Madden again.
Not you, Zenger. Someone's brother.
Yes, exactly.
There's also rumors that Respawn is making a Star Wars Mandalorian video game.
Good for them.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of this stuff is just kind of like boilerplate. And did we talk on the record about Asajj Ventress being in the trailer for the Bad Bunch?
Just a second, but just quickly on the Mandalorian game, like it's really just an obscene misstep that such a thing hasn't existed for years already at this point, and they must not like money.
Well, it is a Lucasfilm after all. They just love stepping in it repeatedly. And the Indiana Jones video game. We had it for the first time since the 90s. We're probably going to have a decent Indiana Jones video game, which is something that's weird to say.
They said the same thing about a movie series, and well,
yeah, I think Infernal Machine might have been like 2000 or something, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And the trailer actually shockingly somehow doesn't look that bad. It seemed the audio mix was a little weird on the trailer. It was like it didn't seem quite professionally finished, which is hilarious. But thematically and aesthetically, the trailer looks good.
Yeah, looking at that trailer, I'm like, wow, somehow this looks like a better Indiana Jones movie than the one we got last year.
The one that Zack has a poster up behind him.
Hey man, I dig aspects of it. The poster is better than the movie. And technically it's to my left, not to my back. Taylor Swift is to
you
my
need to take
back.
one syllable off that statement.
Zenger, your sister-in-law is behind me. Do you have anything to say to her right now?
Future sister-in-law.
Future sister-in-law, alleged.
Come on, man, get it right.
I know. All right. So do we want to delve into the Bad Bunch, or we want to talk about one of the news stories first?
Well, we better talk about the Bad Bunch real quick, otherwise I'll forget it.
All right.
Sorry,
we'll
was that
start
out loud?
Joe, on a scale of hyped to insane hype, how hyped were you for these 3 episodes? Like, did you get your Omega thirst quenched? There was just so much Daniel Logan in a wig.
I'll tell you one thing. What I, think watching 3 episodes of The Bad Batch right now that could have been condensed to a half an episode, really got my juices flowing for The Bad Batch and gave me some serious vibes of the first season. Like how many times do you have to see her walking down a hallway at the same time in order to get the rhythm to it? The
real question shows how many times does she have to go bring blood to a scientist and watch it go with a little
that it was beyond me. I don't know.
Are you saying the Empire's processes are not as efficient as they could be within the lab?
Well, I'm saying they're very thorough because they're doing the same thing every day, the same time of day. Like you could set a watch by it.
That was the point? It's a ticking clock. That's what they set it up as, right? Was that not the metaphor?
Yeah, there's a few montages implying that many days are passing, and she's scratching on the wall in a very cliched fashion. But I did, I don't know, I forget what the first one's called. It's Captive or something. I don't know. If you told me in 2 sentences what that episode's about, it's kid spends 2 months in jail.
I got more out of the highlight reel on the first episode than I did on all 3 episodes, because I thought I finished watching The Bad Batch last season, and apparently Tech died. I did not know that.
Well, Joe, you got the recap at least. You saw.
I know, but the thing is, it was more exciting to watch
died?
The recap. It made more sense to watch the recap, so I think I should wait until season 4 comes out of The Bad Batch 20 years from now. And Dave Filoni decides, you know what? I'm not done with The Bad Batch. Let's do a recap of season 3 so people know what's going on, and then we'll be able to tell season 4.
Joe essentially wants what the prelude to the Kenobi show was, that like recaps the entire prequels in 90 seconds and just explains like, oh God, what, 6 hours of entertainment.
I would react like them too. Like, ooh, ah, because I would be actually interested because they're getting all the fluff out of the way. You know, I do think that there was and there were a couple glimmers of, nice things that were happening as far as, the third episode. I don't want to get too far, but, that was interesting. There was 5 minutes that captivated me there. But overall, the hour and a half that I spent watching, I was like, meh.
Yeah, pretty boilerplate overall for a Bad Batch. Like, even Palpatine showing up is kind of like, he kind of shows up. It's the equivalent of just like, yeah. Did you make the clone yet? No, sir. All right, I'll be back in a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's like again,
no.
They get Ian McDiarmid. He does nothing. Like, definition, he doesn't even chew the scenery a little bit.
Yeah, he does. You're skipping around a little bit. We're now in the third episode, which could have been the only one from a narrative perspective, because Rex, the two, what's the name of the Bad Batch boys? Wrecker and what's the
Bad
other,
Batch boys?
There's only two of them now, Chris. Come on.
What's the other guy? Wrecker and the other guy. So
Steven Seagal.
Rambo.
No, not Rambo. Yeah, there we go.
I'm saying they didn't even like meet Omega as she escaped at the end of episode 3. So
Omega.
They really didn't even need their episode, right? It's like episode 3 covers everything important pretty much. But so Palpatine shows up and he goes into the vault and he looks at, so we don't get to see it, but he looks in one of these clone tubes, and I'm guessing it's like some sort of horrific monstrosity, kind of like in the failed clones in Alien Resurrection. And he's just like, ugh, this is not really working out. It kind of looks like him, but it's probably like disturbing. I mean, there's some good stuff in there, man. I don't know. I like that third episode.
The problem is that like they keep just drawing it out as to what the end game to all this is. Like,
because they don't
is
know.
It going to end in Clone Rebellion or not? That's the thing. Is that
oh, my bad. I thought you meant the end game to this whole plot because it's them trying to explain their way out of a dumb idea they put in the movie.
Well, that's the thing.
For some reason, we've got to grasp onto with all of our might and shake until it makes sense.
Hey man, you gotta respect Lucasfilm being like, nope, we made the sequel trilogy. We are owning this for better or worse. We're just gonna keep like running the clock out on this until all the kids who grew up with it love it, much like the prequel trilogy.
I mean, to be fair, this very same facility with doing work to clone Palpatine was in the expanded universe as well. Like, this has existed for a while.
Hey, don't point out things that have better narrative flow.
I mean,
so Chris, I have to ask, like, going back to the expanded universe aspect of all this, is there a chance that the creatures surrounding Mount Tantus they keep hyping up as, oh, there's things out there that you can't even comprehend? Is it a chance that Salamari?
I think that's done. It was just the one big, like Frank Frazetta, like Mars beast that almost got them at the end of episode 3. I think you're done.
Really? You don't think
that thing's on a different planet.
No, I'm talking about the end of episode 3 where Omega and other Bad Batch man are running through the woods and get to the crash shuttle. There's like a big monster that fights the dogs. So memorable.
Zinger's like, that may or may not have happened. I do not care enough to challenge it in any aspect.
Do you think the 2 young clones are Daniel Logan doing the voice from the second episode?
Oh God, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope
it's confirmed.
It's not true.
Oh, I didn't even look it up. It's confirmed.
Yeah, it is. It's Daniel Logan and the kid from Deadpool 2.
Oh, they're not both Daniel Logan?
They are not both Daniel Logan.
That's weird.
I don't think so.
Why would you do that? Why would you do something?
Because they want to see the world burn. For the same reason why that
they let D. Bradley Baker do every single clone, but they won't let Daniel Logan do 2 that are the same age.
It's the same company that wouldn't let Ashley Eckstein voice Ahsoka in live action, Chris. Come on. But
well, it's a lot more work than Daniel Logan got in the Book of Boba Fett, so like, good for him.
Can't wait. When will we get to see Omega in live action? When is that going to happen?
Because she'll be dead. I mean,
the armor. It's all connected. Get the picture of Charlie Day up with the red tape, drawing the lines in tape.
It's not a race; it's a creed.
But yeah, it's one thing I did pick up on with these 3 episodes is that it actually reminded me of like the narrative structure of Andor. The first 2 episodes are just boilerplate, nothing. Third is action.
I don't know.
Narrative structure, not saying quality wise, but I'm saying narrative structure as in the first 2 are just table setting. Third is where your action crescendos.
It's like they got the second episode, they had a giant Sarlacc pit in the middle of that base. And that was a Sarlacc. It was reminiscent of Book of Boba Fett.
And it was, they were aesthetically trying to make it look like Alien for some reason, like the hull of the derelict ship and all that looked like a lot like Alien, and you have a tentacle monster.
But they've done that before. That's the thing that's so weird. They've done that before. Because in the second season, remember when the Zillow Beast comes back and it's eating them like in the derelict ship? Like, they've done this before. That's what feels so weird.
Not only that, but they've done it in Droids in 1985 as well. Like, they reference derelict ships that look like the one in Alien far too often.
But yeah, Bad Batch season 3 opening, fine. What do we think of Dr. Hemlock as a villain? Just out of curiosity, is that like? I guess we haven't had a lot of mad science, like outside of what Dr. Evazan. We really haven't had a lot of evil scientist characters in Star Wars.
I find him inoffensive, and he hasn't said anything appallingly stupid yet. So, thumbs up.
Give it time.
I think he's meh.
I don't know. Obviously they're tying this to, of course, Project Necromancer, which is Mandalorian season 3 buzzwords, which is going to spiral into Rise of Skywalker nonsense.
Which also means that they've made very little progress over like 25 years of this project, because in both cases we see a tube with a horrific body in it and no progress.
It gave them Lord Emperor Snoke.
Yeah,
which means Omega is definitely dead.
No, Zenger, it means Omega is Snoke.
Damn.
Any armor.
Bum, 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 bum. But no, like, it's weird that this is their, like, through line going from, like, immediate, like, Revenge of the Sith, Order 66 stuff, all the way to, like, episode 9, is that this is like, nope, we're gonna like ride this plot thread hard.
I want somebody to explain to J.J. Abrams that midichlorians are now being used to explain his return of Palpatine in episode 9, because that would really bother him probably.
I'll be right back.
Chris, I like to imagine the meme you posted where like it's Obi-Wan looking at the screen of Anakin's midichlorian count with Omega looking at it. I like to imagine there's like this similar like deleted scene from The Rise of Skywalker, and it's Kylo Ren walking through the base on Exegol, and he sees a little screen. It's like Clone Emperor M count. But they are using the term M count. They are not 100% confident in the term midichlorian. They still realize that's a dirty word in some circles.
I feel, wasn't M count in Mandalorian season 3 as well? I think it showed up.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think they're comfortable with it either. I think it's very much like they still don't want to use that word. It's like what the word mutant was to like Marvel like fanboys like in the mid 2010s. Well, it's like, at least we can't use that term. That's a Fox term.
At least they're not pretending that it doesn't exist, because they're canon. You can't do anything about it, and it's sacrilege to imply otherwise.
Man, what a strange time we live in. The Phantom Menace is weirdly... Oh, another piece of news. The Phantom Menace is coming back to theaters in like 2 months.
Going.
I'm excited. You guys can like Joe, you can snicker as much as you want. I am going to sit there. Like, I can't wait to throw that that Qui-Gon lightsaber you got me at the screen, like as if it were a Rocky Horror Picture Show showing. Just chuck it. Like Qui-Gon ignites his lightsaber on the droid control, so just throw it at the screen.
And then you pierce the screen like when he's going through the door.
Exactly. That's what we should do. We should make think of Chris, you explain this to me. Why is it that in the last like 15 years, the only prequel film to get re-released twice is The Phantom Menace? Attack of the Clones has not been re-released since 2002.
Good.
Revenge of the Sith, not re-released since 2005. And before Chris says it, they did have the 3D showings at one celebration. But think about it. In how many years Phantom Menace gets released twice? The other two prequels, nothing.
It'll happen. It might happen this time when you hit the same anniversaries. We'll see. But it's because you have to start with one because people are idiots, and then when you realize one didn't work out so good, you abandon the project.
Like a certain McDonald's bucket.
Wait a second. Hold on. You got to start with one. I believe a great Giorgio Lucas started with 4.
We're talking about the prequels only here, Zenger. You gotta follow along.
He started with 4, and we're all here now because we can't grow up inside.
He technically started with Star Wars, not 4.
Whatever.
You are technically right, Chris. The best kind of correct.
That's all irrelevant.
I think that Disney is trying to milk this $4 billion investment that they took years ago, and they're going to just go all the way. And you're going to sit there and see them release the prequel movies like they are right now. Hey, it's a 25th anniversary. Go see it. Remember this when you were a kid. Get a little bit of nostalgia going. And then what they'll do is they'll sit there and it'll be a top performing box office hit, because the crap that they got coming out now is
crap.
Horrible. And what they're going to do is, you'll have Phantom Menace this time, and then they'll wait another couple of years, and hey, it's the 25th of, Attack of the Clones. Come see it. And then what they'll start doing is when the original trilogy, they'll start bringing that back out into theaters again too, with the Disney Plus cut. I think you'll see that the original trilogy coming out probably before the Mandalorian movie, just to get people up to speed and get them hyped to go see Star Wars again in the theater. And then after that, guess what? Oh my God, it's the 10th anniversary or the 20th anniversary of The Force Awakens. Let's put that in the theaters again.
Let that sink in, everybody. Next year's the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens. Now that's a scary idea.
Yeah.
So here's a question, because Zenger's gonna love this.
Where did time go?
Zenger, you're gonna love this. Yeah. So the Phantom Menace 3D re-release made $43 million in North America and $102 million worldwide in 2012.
That's not bad. What could a distribution even cost?
That's what I mean. But does it make more money this time in a post prequels are now kind of good world? Because keep in mind, 2012 is still when the prequels are considered sin.
How much did that Jedi re-release make? 40th.
Return of the Jedi? It's a great question. I do not know. Let's see.
Before you say they're not comparable, Zenger, yes, they are.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say dumber stuff.
Return of the Jedi.
I would have believed you if you had said it only made $102 outside the United States.
That's not fun.
I guess adjusted for inflation.
It had the 3D upcharge too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Chris, you're gonna eat this up. So the 2023 re-release of Return of the Jedi only made $7.2 million. Only. Which is weird because I think it only played for a week.
Yeah, okay. Well, Phantom Menace in 2012 was around for a lot longer than a week, wasn't it?
It played. It's so hard because Box Office Mojo sucks so much.
Yeah, I feel like that was around a lot longer than a week. It opened
February 10th and it did not leave theaters. It looks like until Memorial Day weekend. So it hung around for 3 months.
It refused to leave theaters.
In its last weekend, it made $250. I figured I would get a laugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, but also it's just distribute for them to send these films out to cinemas must be cheaper than ever now. They probably have an FTP server. They're probably not even physically mailing anything, right? I don't know how it actually works, but it must be cheaper than ever. So what's the overhead, right? You're sending something that's already made.
You're Dropboxing it.
But Chris, you have to admit, you have to be, because what was CGI Yoda already existed for this. So we're pretty much just seeing the 2012 cut without the 3D.
I would have rather seen it without the 3D at that time. Yes.
I don't remember hating the 3D back 10 years ago. It's not that it did anything, but it wasn't egregious.
Yeah, I just didn't notice it. And at that point, I'd rather not wear the glasses.
You didn't wear the Anakin pod racing glasses that they gave out?
Also, post-conversion is cancer and should not exist.
Oh,
Whoa.
God. Disagree. If you can make it work, it's fine.
Maybe AI can make it work, but the way they were doing it back then was absolutely useless.
But no, I'm excited for the Phantom Menace in 3D. Also, too, it should be noted that this first weekend in May this year is the first time that a Marvel movie has not opened the summer movie season since 2006.
I was wondering why the world felt better than it used to a few months ago.
But that's the reason why you're getting the Phantom Menace. Is because Disney doesn't have a Marvel movie.
I think, there's a possibility that, in 2012, we were still getting good films. So there's a possibility that the Phantom Menace will awaken a whole new generation of children who's only ever seen abject slop for the last 10 years. And maybe they'll realize that there are real films.
Well, I don't know, though. I have a feeling Disney's only going to keep this in theaters for 2 weeks and they're going to pull it out. I think we should kind of tie into like another rumor is that there's a rumor going around that the Acolyte's debut date is sometime like beginning of June of this year. So I can only presume that The Phantom Menace is going back into theaters, much like how Rogue One went into theaters before Andor came out, is like quasi marketing for this, considering that they're kind of like low key hyping the Acolyte as 50 years before the events of The Phantom Menace. That's what I'm assuming, is that it's the same philosophy that led Rogue One to come out before Andor. I wouldn't be surprised before they announce like a sneak preview of the Acolyte before the Phantom Menace, like they did when they butchered the one action scene in the first three episodes of Andor.
I think the Phantom Menace, even after the Acolyte comes out, has better monetary value and brand recognition than the Acolyte, even after episode 2 of the Acolyte comes out. No one cares about the Acolyte.
I know, but I think you're only getting this re-release as a form of marketing. I don't think they're doing it as some like misplaced like throwing a bone to the Star Wars fandom.
I don't know. I think there's this thing that is very observable with like collectibles, where like 25 years after something came out, the people who got it as a kid now have expendable income. I don't know, man. There might be like a resurgence in Phantom Menace appreciation from people who were like 7 or 6 when they saw it. You never know.
But that's like raising my hand right now. Like that's literally me.
Yeah, but like the normie version of you who like saw it in theaters.
So you mean the person who like digested like Sorcerer's Stone and Fellowship of the Ring in the same time frame?
Yeah, and they're more balanced and like all of those things.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. But I think that's a lot of people, you know, and I think that because Phantom Menace is actually a good film, unlike what they're used to getting, you know, I just, if they give it enough time in theaters, I wouldn't be surprised if it does better than that Return of the Jedi, to be honest.
But like I said, I think Return of the Jedi was a weird bone. Like, I don't think that was like the Return of the Jedi one's kind of misplaced because like it doesn't make any sense. There really wasn't anything happening around that time to really.
But it doesn't need context though. You know,
Lucasfilm does nothing in a vacuum though.
Well, except for the fact that there was a ton of product that was Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary.
Was there?
Like, yeah, there was like there was like a bunch of TVC and Black Series that had packaging for Return of the Jedi 40th. And I feel like a bunch of other companies did stuff as well. Like Hot Toys had some stuff labeled Return of the Jedi 40th. You know, it was more than nothing.
But I mean, there wasn't any big like. Don't get me wrong. There's merchandise around it, but there wasn't any sort of major push of anything else.
Well,
it wasn't co-branding.
Yeah, but merchandise that's the main event. Like,
is it
Return of the Jedi?
But like the main event is like a skin in Fortnite. That's the main event.
Return of the Jedi 40th got way more product than the Acolyte's going to get. It got more product than Ahsoka got.
But that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so looking at like the movie release schedule, like the only big movie, there's 2 big movies coming out. One's like a kids movie, Thabo and the Rhino Case, because we're all excited for Thabo and the Rhino Case. And then the other big release is The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. And then the weekend after that is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Tarot, the tarot card movie, because we live in that future, unfortunately. And then the week after that, we have Back to Black, The Strangers, Chapter 1, and then If. And then after that's Furiosa and the Garfield movie. And that's kind of it. Like there isn't a lot of like heavy hitters this May. Like every single one of these movies I don't even want to call Furiosa like a slam dunk. It's not. Like, it's a George Miller movie. It's going to have its audience, but it's not going to be like a barn burner. And even Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it's like, okay, like, is there genuine, palpable excitement for that? Like, again, there's an audience, but
dude, it's like, give me dudes in ape makeup or just don't even lose my number. Like, I'm not even interested.
Dr. Zayas.
Yeah, I was on I was on a Unbelievers live stream with Russ a couple nights ago, and he played a trailer for something called Sasquatch Sunset, which has A-list actors in Bigfoot makeup. And that's what your Planet of the Apes movie should be. You guys are slipping up.
It's kind of funny, like even looking at like all the movies coming out in June, there's really like no slam dunks. Like there's movies like Inside Out 2, which is like, okay, like Pixar's gonna Pixar. And then you have like Bad Boys 4. I don't know if that's still a thing. And then you have like
Probably
Despicable Me 4, which is going to be that's the definition of like probably the biggest movie of the summer.
I think the slap and the fallout of the slap ruined a lot of people's interest in Bad Boys 4.
Do those people even care? Those people are just like
after the slap happened, and then Jada was like, I haven't even really been living with Will Smith for like 3 years. At that point, it's like, oh man. Well, who even knows what's going on there anymore? I don't know. It's just like he needs to get his life together. I don't need Bad Boys 4.
Will Smith needs a paycheck.
Will Smith needs another story on his house.
He needs a paycheck. That's what it is.
Yeah, but like, okay, there's living in luxury, but like also in jail at the same time in some sort of weird psychological hell. And it's hilarious, and I'm here for it, but I don't care about Bad Boys 4.
There was a Bad Boys 3?
Yeah. Wasn't there?
But like, that's what I mean though, is that like the Bad Boys franchise is what, like late 90s or no, mid 90s, mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
And then the second one comes out like in early 2000s. Then there's nothing for 20 years. And then now it's just like, hey, like it's weird, like 90s, 2000s, like nostalgia, which is what the Phantom Menace and the prequels are writing. Like, it's weird to think that like early 2000s nostalgia is really the last consensus nostalgia that we have before the internet. The internet just kind of fragmented everything into like a million pieces.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know who's like does Bad Boys really have like diehard fans? Like I saw the first one and I was like, it's Will Smith in a worse movie than Men in Black. That was my takeaway.
Chris.
And Chris saw Wild Wild West and he's just like, wow, Bad Boys looks great.
Chris, you
give me that mechanical spider.
You Canadian Chris, you Canadian fool. Zach, what was the gross on the last Fast and the Furious movie?
Too much? Is too much a quantitative figure?
There's your answer to why it will make money.
They should do a crossover. Will Smith, like, forget about his character from those movies. Just put Will Smith as Will Smith in a Fast and Furious movie with like John Cena, like chewing, like I don't know, just chewing the scenery.
I mean, you don't even have to put John Cena in. You can't see him.
No.
Man, this is a rough episode. You can tell, folks, that like even though there's a lot of Star Wars stories, none of them are interesting. It's the way like we somehow find the Bad Boys franchise infinitely more interesting than 3 episodes of Star Wars animation.
Well, the thing was, I kind of wanted to talk about the like the names of the upcoming episodes.
Okay, go ahead, give us some names, Zenger.
Like there's a different approach. Okay, cool. The Return. I'm pretty sure that's a movie. Extraction. Pretty sure that's another movie. Bad Territory, the sequel to...
That sounds like the Bad Boys.
Yes, exactly. The Harbinger, that's the name of my ship in Helldivers 2. Identity Crisis, that was something they did in DC and it didn't work out well. So let's see how Star Wars handle it. Point of No Return, it means you're continuing to watch this. Juggernaut, which that's an X-Men character. Into the Breach, I'm sure that's another video game reference. Flash Strike, I think that's what the Flash movie was going to be called. And The Cavalry Has Arrived, which means you can finally stop watching.
That's a series finale title, is The Cavalry
Has Arrived.
I'm wondering if that's when Rex and Echo finally join up with them.
Yeah, it takes them long.
That's when Commander Cody shows up.
No, and Tech shows up to introduce zombies.
I wonder if Juggernaut is like an evil version of Wrecker that's just like rude and has black armor.
Wait.
With horns on it.
Yeah. Or they just have what's his name play the Juggernaut again, but he's now in space. Why can I not remember that actor's name?
I just like the idea of it being Evil Wrecker. It's like, what makes him evil? He has black armor.
Yeah, like there's just a squad of like of those like dirtbag like new stormtroopers, and they like have just this crate that they open, and it's like a like roided out Evil Wrecker that chases them. That'd be great.
In a derelict spaceship.
I'm available at Disney. You can hire me.
They call it Bizarro Squad. He just talks like backwards and everything like that.
It's Bizarro Wrecker.
Bizarro Wrecker.
Oh man, a Bizarro entire Bad Batch squad.
Yeah.
Isn't that just like Republic Commandos? Like
Yes.
professional clones who actually can focus and don't talk about their feelings? Like
Or-
Zenger, you play, yeah. Okay, so I don't know how many of you remember. Do you remember like the ending of like the Republic Commando video game, where it's like
Yeah.
where they show some emotion because like one of them gets like kidnapped and they're told to like evacuate like Kashyyyk, and it's like, and the advisor's just like, get like, oh god, commandos, like get under control, like not worth like ruining entire operation for one squad mate. And there's like one of them's like, I think it's Scorch is like, one squad mate, that's my pod brother. And that's like the extent of like emoting for the entire game is one line of dialogue. And we blew through that in the first like 15 seconds of dialogue in the Bad Batch. It's
Yeah.
like, and they're emoting.
What's the name of the other female clone doctor lady?
Dr. Call.
Doctor Girlfriend.
The only other female clone.
Nothing?
Two of them.
Call.
There's two of them. I forget her name. But anyways, you know what? She's probably going to do something like make a copy of. She's probably got tech's like DNA on file, right? So she'll make like an evil tech that will try and trick Omega to come back or something.
Perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a false. Oh, okay. Like they have to lure them in.
Yeah, that would work because Omega is very sensitive about her clone brethren, so that would just
Stupid.
work.
I mean sensitive. I mean stupid.
Okay. Question. Do we, considering that we keep seeing Scorch in all these episodes, like kind of just like escorting Hemlock around, are we going to get to see Delta Squad at all? Or is like, are we going to finally get to see them? Or is that just something that's just meant to be like a cute Easter egg of Scorch?
Cute Easter egg because no one beyond a very surface level even knows who Delta Squad is.
Wait, are they remaking it?
I think they already did.
It came out. It's just a remaster. It's not. They put it on the Switch, but it's the same game.
Apparently, by the way, just throwing this out there. Apparently, Dark Forces is getting a port. to PC.
Yeah, that's next week, I think.
I
And
know.
It's going on It's going to be on Xbox Game Pass too.
I'm excited. It's gonna
Yeah.
have achievements and stuff, so that means I'll actually play it.
Yeah, like when I had the original one, like my PC was so like brand new that like I didn't even have the right sound card, so I like played Dark Forces with no sound because they didn't have the correct sound blaster in like 1996 or whatever the heck it was. I was roughing it with no. They didn't. I don't think they had subtitles for those cutscenes back then.
Oof.
Mm.
Hold on, wait.
Zach's like, there's no chance in hell I'm playing Dark Forces.
I'm still waiting on the KOTOR remake coming out in 2035.
Yeah.
It's
Gaming
not.
device.
Yeah,
Wait. Oh my God! It's gonna be remastered in 4K.
dude. There's a trailer for the.
My eyes will bleed.
There's a trailer for the Dark Forces remaster, and like they even redid all the cutscenes. Like they're still like sort of looking, but
Oh no! Sort of shitty looking implies they. No, they just look like. Shit.
wow, there's three
Oh,
beeps
bleep
right
that,
there.
yeah, three bleeps.
But they sort of compare like the originals to what they remastered, and like it still looks like true to the original, but they up-resed it tastefully.
Oh, don't worry. If you have a i5 card and 4 gigs of RAM, you're able to run this thing like a pro. Oh, sorry. Hold on. My bad. That's the recommended.
Zack, Dark Forces is the first story of Kyle Katarn, during which Mon Mothma dispatches him to steal the plans for the original Death Star.
Yeah, when he's in his Jyn Erso mode.
Yes.
Chris hates the fact that that's the most concise way of explaining Kyle Katarn to modern audiences.
Oh, well, he also accomplishes that in the first level, and it didn't take a whole movie.
Yeah, and then he has to go up against Dark Trooper, like,
And Bobby Fett.
and stuff.
Chris, are you suggesting that rebellions aren't built on hope?
I'm saying they're built on competent mercenaries.
The most competent.
Man, poor Calrissian Endor just got thrown under the bus there.
Clunk.
Dollar General Kyle Katarn, even though he's still the best Disney Plus Star Wars show.
Okay, so like I'm looking at, it's funny on like the Star Wars like Reddit leaks page, like they actually have like a cute little like infographic of like everything coming out this year. And so you have Bad Batch, which is obviously started. Acolyte is this summer. They're still claiming that Tales of the Jedi is sometime this year. Skeleton Crew is supposed to be this holiday season. Then you have 2 games. You have Outlaws and Hunters. Hunters of which I thought came out like 2 years ago, but I guess not.
Yeah, no one cares about that anymore. It's like a really bad version of Fortnite or something. It's like, spare me.
Poor man's. But I will say that like going back to Guardian Galaxies, the Mandalorian Grogu, the rumor is that will start shooting this summer. And I think principal photography is supposed to wrap sometime in the fall, October, if I remember correctly. And its budget is apparently less than any season of The Mandalorian, which kind of makes sense considering that like Mandalorian's 8 episodes long and this is going to be like a 2-hour movie.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Zenger's like, we're getting a Mandalorian movie?
How are they going to have him be in that when he has to be Reed Richards?
He's not going to be in it. It's going to be his voice.
Oh, right.
He's not taking his helmet off. He's being in a sound studio while he's taping Fantastic Four.
You don't think he's going to take it off even once in the movie?
Never.
Probably not.
Also,
Iron Man this.
Also, just pointing this out real quick. Sitting there, mind my own business, looking at stuff, and I saw that somebody who, does another show where characters shouldn't take their helmet off made a comment about how they don't take their helmet off. Yeah, I'm making digs at that. Not Mass Effect, God. Master Chief. Apparently, the actor's like, yeah, I'm not going to take my helmet off. Why would I do that? So I immediately posted in the comments a picture of, no one would ever become famous for not taking their helmet off, and put a picture of Din Djarin because I'm a pro.
Yeah, I almost started watching the season 2 of the Halo show because their trailer tricked me that it was going to be more Halo than season 1. But the reviews I'm hearing are just hilarious. Like the fall of Reach takes place basically in an apartment complex. Like, I'm out.
Well, here's the thing. I would tell you the review I gave to somebody for the first season, but I've already maxed out my bleeps this episode, so not going to do that.
You guys remember when we used to get good things like Halo 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, I remember when life was good and gave back to us.
It's the time to be alive.
Poor Zenger. All right, so apparently someone has like speculating on Pedro Pascal's schedule. Apparently The Last of Us Season 2 is filming now. He films Fantastic Four in August. So I don't know. If they're starting like principal photography in June, he could be doing this like in June and July.
They need him for one day, Zach. They'll get him in for his one helmet off cameo.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know.
Man, it's going to be
I still don't know what this movie's about unless they really do just make... What Zenger? What Snyder Mark did Zenger make?
I said it's going to be a stretch.
Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, stretches.
Yeah.
I don't even like those, and I know that, Zach. Come on.
I didn't know. I didn't hear him. Like, he was too busy. Like, I was saying something, and Zenger's just like, Marvel joke. And I'm like, what? And it's like...
Well, that's the other thing you have to think of, too, is most of The Mandalorian is like in a single soundstage because they have the background displays. So they would just shoot The Mandalorian season right where they're shooting the Fantastic Four, and they're done.
I'm telling you, Joe, it has not, and they don't need to be related at all. He can just show up to take the helmet off for 3 shots. They'll find a time to do it. It's funny. Somebody from the production said they meant to do that for the last shot of season 3. I'm like, you really couldn't get him for like 2 hours to do like an insert or something? Like, that's crazy.
But I always read the reason why they didn't do that is because again, if he does as a voice acting credit, it's either he's not paid as much or he doesn't get residuals to the same capacity if he doesn't show his face.
It's gonna be great. Like, you know, when Mandalorian final season is like 10 years in the background, and like old man Pedro Pascal's like, oh man, that stupid show. Like, first of all, they filmed the first 4 episodes before I was even cast, and then they expect me to care about it so much, and then they start paying me the voiceover fee. When people start talking real about this stuff, it's gonna be funny. And I mean, I cannot wait for the transcriptions from the Gina Carano lawsuit. That's gonna be just gonna be gold. You know, they haven't. Her complaint was so weird. It was like, part of it was like, and you have to also put me back on the show. Like, have you ever heard anything so insane in your life? It's like, that's, you can't sue someone to recast you in a show. Like, that's so stupid.
She wants to make sure Poochie didn't blow up on the way back to his planet.
Yeah, it's like,
that's gonna be a great Simpsons episode. Poochie sues.
Can you imagine?
Itchy and Scratchy. Zenger, who's the one who owns the rights? Itchy and Scratchy.
Oh my gosh. Give me a second.
I can see the character, but I can't think of his name.
Could you imagine if you could legally obligate a company to cast you in a show? Like, that's insane. It's obviously impossible.
It's comedy gold.
Yeah, be silent while I look this up, please.
Zenger, like we should all say we're glued to the screen as Zenger is like visually fact checking this. Like, it's like being on Jeopardy and waiting for the judges to like give their ruling. It's like,
Like when I make the Iowa Smith franchise, I'm going to have them contractually obligate to have me as the star.
That's why that worked for Sylvester Stallone a few times.
I know.
Well, it's on the Krusty the Clown show. I know that.
well, yes. Like, we know that.
Obviously.
God dang it. Simpsons has been around too freaking long.
That's definitely true.
But no, okay, Chris. Okay, so
I'll get your
if Zenger weren't
answer.
distracted, I would ask him what he thinks of the Gina Carano lawsuit. But I feel like
Hilarious.
That's it, just hilarious.
Like,
I mean, God, Hollywood just keeps giving and giving. First, there was the Johnny Depp thing, and then we found out way too much about that. Then the slap, we just found out way too much about his life, and now we're going to find out what weird stuff Gina Carano's up to.
I think it's less Gina Carano and what the Walt Disney Company is up to.
Yeah,
I think that's the scary part.
They won't let anything out on that.
they're gonna like subpoena internal emails where there's just gonna be 2 like 24-year-old producers like saying catty stuff about Gina Carano and like, how can we get rid of her? Like, it's gonna be great.
I think it's Elon Musk's play to buy Disney.
Roger Myers, by the way.
Yes,
Roger Myers Jr.,
yes.
voiced by Hank Azaria.
Okay, so like Poochie's going to sue Richard.
Oh my gosh, he hasn't been in the episodes in a long time.
Yeah, they don't really do itchy and scratchy gags anymore.
No, they don't.
It's because the children wouldn't get it. What do you mean Saturday morning cartoons?
What do you mean, Tom and Jerry?
Are you talking about the 50s? Like, what are you talking about?
It's weird to think. Like, it's funny now when you look at The Simpsons and they do like Marge and Homer like flashbacks of them like getting to first know each other. It's like them in like 1995, and it's just like, what? It's like, what sort of hell have I been teleported into?
More like 2003 or something.
I know,
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah, because I remember they were like in the 70s original. Like, I remember all those flashbacks where it was the 70s and it made sense.
God, it sucks being a grandpa. All right, Gina Carano. Yeah, Gina Carano thing. Like, Joe and I were talking about this in real life, where like I think the whole thing with Gina Carano is that she probably is expecting. Like, again, like Chris said, you can't force the company to recast you unless like Disney.
Yeah, but she has wiggle room.
What do you mean by that?
She'll have wiggle room. She'll be like, well, if you're not going to cast me, I want this instead.
But that's what I mean. Like, the thing is, like, she's going to eventually get some form of settlement similar to what happened with Scarlett Johansson. Again, apples to oranges comparison. Because, like, the last thing Disney wants is they don't want any of, like, internal documents being, like, exposed during Discovery. That's the whole thing. Like, they're going to be so afraid of something getting out. And that's the thing about Discovery is that, like, anything is fair game that's tangential. So they're going to settle with her. The only thing that's weird about this is, like, Gina Carano does come from money. So, like, she doesn't need it. It could be just being done to just harass Disney and just put another nail in the coffin for them.
You sit there and you look at it, though, but who's engineering the lawsuit? All you have to do is just follow the money. Who's starting?
Dang, she's my height.
No, it's not about money at all. Like, I think
Jason Kelsey's height?
Yes.
But the minimum payout specified of compensation in her complaint is like $75,000. It's just like they really just want to make it case law that you can't be fired for sharing opinions with half the country on Twitter.
X.
It's Elon Musk that's fronting the money for the lawsuit. He's doing this with a bunch of
Well,
people.
she got fired for what she said on Twitter, so it's kind of relevant.
X.
Wait, was Twitter back then?
X.
It's Grand Admiral Thrawn who's actually funding the lawsuit with the
Yes.
gold-faced stormtrooper.
How perfect.
I think it's his play to sit there and air out some of their dirty laundry, drop the stock price because it's already not the highest it's been. And so what he could do is just take it over like he did with Twitter.
It's a good way to manufacture some cultural change in an institution that desperately needs it.
Zenger, you should talk to Elon Musk and get him to release Detours.
On it.
Every day Zenger tweets to Elon. Hey.
Release the detours.
That
my
one
God.
episode
All right.
that got, you guys know the one episode that got leaked. It was a test market thing. No one's going to take their career into their hands and drop that for no reason. That was test market.
Zenger finds out that during Discovery with Gina Carano, that's one of the things is the Detour series has to be released.
God, I'd
Oh
be
my
on her
God.
side. I'd make a sign. I'd stand outside of the thing and be like, woo, let's
Imagine.
do this.
Elon Musk just slips that into the settlement requirements. That'd be great.
Also, how did I not notice that Bear Grylls did a series where he drags poor celebrities out into the woods?
He's had that there.
I know, and he's had it for like 10 years. How
Yeah,
did I
in
not know
the wild.
about this?
In the Wild with Bear Grylls. It was on
Yeah, exactly.
BBC.
I'm looking at some of these people, man. How are they not dead? Oh, I mean, him dragging Channing Tatum out there. I mean, oh, Dave Bautista. Oh man, he takes the
We
destroyer.
really
out.
are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Oh, we should also
Oh,
talk
and
about
Natalie Portman.
what?
Yeah, Natalie Portman.
Okay, we should also probably discuss in the things that are unfortunate the passing of Carl Weathers. No more Grief Karga, no more Apollo Creed. Yeah.
And Gronk didn't make the kit of Destiny
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he missed it.
because he missed Carl. That's why.
Yeah.
He was training him.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Obviously, like Predator is his probably greatest cinematic achievement. I'm not a big Rocky fan, but it's definitely not Mandalorian, no matter how you slice it. But he was sort of cool in season 1, and then he became like Mayor Quimby after that. So like I don't know.
Man, just keep it with the Simpsons jokes, aren't we?
Action Jackson was his best film by far.
I keep forgetting he was in Happy Gilmore. And then
Yeah,
I'm
okay, that
reminded
was
he's in
pretty
Happy Gilmore, and it's hilarious.
But it's weird, right? Because like the next season of The Mandalorian once again gets weirder by something like the passing of Carl Weathers, and it's like, it's almost like if Gina Carano were forced to be back in the show, it would like bring back some of the original crew of the first season in a nicer way now that you can't have Carl Weathers.
But it does move season 4, though, because what could happen is something happened to him off camera. And then next thing you know, they're like, listen, he's not here anymore. You got to move. And all of these Mandalorians have to move with you. We don't want you here anymore because this guy only wanted you here. Well, we just want you to go away.
So how canceled am I going to be for saying that she has to come back, but she can only character?
Oh my God. Chris, you might have to bleep that entire
Yeah.
thing. It's a giant blaster shot. Just a very...
Yeah, I mean, you'll never know what that theory was.
Oh, no. The best part is Disney, I'll be a lawyer for you. I've got you.
Yeah.
I would say it in open court.
Well, I'm just saying, like basically because of that, his original crew is all gone at this point because Queel's, Queel's dead. IG is a walking skeleton, and Gina Carano and Carl Weathers are theoretically not in season 4. So it really strips it down from what it probably was intended to be a couple years ago.
What about that other guy that was an Imperial?
Bill Burr?
Yeah, haven't seen him in it.
Don't worry. He said something worse than I just did, so he can't be on Disney stuff anyways.
Yeah, when Gina Carano got kicked off the show, like he was on a podcast and he's like, "Yikes, I'm on that show."
Oh dear.
And then he was never seen again. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Star Wars wise, it's like I said, at this point, like I would imagine we're not going to get an Acolyte trailer until what? After the Bad Bunch is done?
Ooh.
Acolyte's going to be live action, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one with ponytail Chewbacca that you've probably seen a behind the scenes photo of.
Hold on.
Perfect thing. They could bring Lizzo back and she could be the administrator of the planet.
Okay, if my thing didn't get bleeped.
That would be perfect.
As silly as that was, it didn't offend any recently deceased people.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, so when she wins the lawsuit, she's going to come back and she'll just be the mayor of that town, like feet up on the desk, because Elon Musk decreed it so.
Lord Musk, come on, get it
I'm
right.
the administrator now.
She's not replacing the character Zenger. She's just going to be the new mayor of that town.
Yeah, that's fine. I never said I was in favor of the other thing. I just thought it would be.
Singer, that idea was too dangerous to have on the record.
I love how we continue to talk about it, but I can't say what it was anymore.
No. Anything else Star Wars related, or I feel like stuff happened, but nothing really juicy.
I'm still the thing I'm most excited for is Outlaws. It's gonna be good.
Outlaws.
Yeah, that's where it's at, man. I'm gonna crush Dark Forces and then patiently wait for Outlaws.
Oh, so you're not gonna play the remake of the Battlefront games?
Why would I? They've been available on Xbox One for years, the original Battlefront games. I guess they're adding online multiplayer, which is cool.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Am I the only person that's excited for the Phantom Menace re-release? Like, I feel like...
Zach, I'm going. What do you want? I'm going to go.
I know, but it feels more like an obligation. Like, it's like a cousin's wedding.
No, I'm going to try and get... I'm going to try and trick, like, a person who's never seen it before to come with me. We'll see how it goes.
I think that's actually a great idea. Fantastic call to action for the audience. Convince some rando plebe to come to the theater with you. Tell them that's the latest... I can't even say Marvel movie anymore. Tell them it's Barbie 2. Go find some rando. Tell them that Margot Robbie made another Barbie movie. It's like a Beyonce album. They did it in secret. Tell them that's what it is. And then have the Cinemoddities talk about trade disputes. It'll be fantastic.
I got this. Ellie, we're going to the movies. There, done.
That's commitment there. That's theatrical. Zenger actually just yelled down the hall. I don't know what time it is there. Maybe someone's trying to sleep. I don't know. He just yelled down the hall.
Yep.
Zenger woke up at least one of his children by that comment.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to try and get somebody who's never even seen a Star Wars to come with me, and I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. Once again, let me yell down the hall again.
Ellie, we're going to see the crimes of Grindelwald.
Door gets kicked in at that point.
Yeah.
They made another one?
No, I think I said this after it happened, but like when Return of the Jedi was back in theaters, like I went with my girlfriend, and when Vader threw the Emperor down the chute, she was like, I never realized it was Vader that killed the Emperor.
And she's like, why did he yell no?
I don't think that stood out to her. So, maybe Lucas
won. Oh no, Lucas won. Lucas won.
Yeah. It's almost like he's just been right about everything the whole time.
I don't know, man. It's going to be weird seeing CGI. I guess I did see CGI. For some reason, I don't remember CGI Yoda in the 2012 3D re-release. I just don't remember that.
You were too distracted by your pod racer goggles.
I know. Chris, we should do that. We should all get, like, Joe, 3D print some Anakin pod racing goggles with clear lenses. So we can all sit there and be like...
I will look that up now. It won't be very flexible.
They're really crushing my head, but god dang it, it's some good
The
stuff.
elastic's hurting my temples. Just eat the popcorn, you monster.
Eat the popcorn. Shut up. They're free goggles. What do you expect?
So, do you guys think that Dune 2 started an arms race of offensive popcorn buckets? Like, who's gonna try and follow that up?
Did you, Chris? It's funny you mentioned that, tying that to Star Wars. I was reading an article online about like themed popcorn buckets, and whoever they were interviewing, I guess it's somebody who's like a merchant for like AMC theaters, is like, oh, this all started in 2019 where we had an R2D2 popcorn bucket for The Rise of Skywalker. Like, this was the first time we really thought about doing more of a novelty versus like just like wrapping a popcorn tin or a plastic bucket. And they're like, yeah, it was The Rise of Skywalker R2D2 that was like the foundation for all this.
Well, I mean, it's like a 40-year-old iconic character. It really has nothing to do with The Rise of Skywalker, why it was popular.
I know, but it's weird to think that like in this article themed around like all the people getting like weirdly aroused by like a Dune popcorn like tin, the AMC merchant for this for the last like 5 years is like, this was like the foundation to it all. I didn't expect it, and they're showing all the stuff that's been done just in the last like 6 months, whether it be like Barbie, convertible, the Mean Girls burn book.
Can you imagine being the guy who came up with that like sandworm popcorn bucket? Like, you never thought this job was going to change your life, but you better believe.
Everybody in the office is like pervert.
Who came up with it? I want to know, because it went through multiple hands, and nobody went, hold up, what's going on here?
Or a couple people realized what would happen and clued in that it was marketing genius. Because people who don't even care about that movie want one of those just for the amusement factor.
Or someone higher up came up with it and nobody had the guts to tell them no.
I don't even think those are going to be allowed in Canada. I never saw them. We don't have the same.
I don't know. I need to look up Virginia's rules on those kind of things.
Yeah, we don't have the same freedoms as you guys. Like something like that, that's wild stuff. We're not getting that.
Oh, the Dune popcorn bucket. And it's funny, Chris, they're already selling them. You can buy them because they had them out for the AMC, or I know AMC's like re-release of Dune 1 in theaters.
Well, is it an AMC product?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why I don't have it. That's why I don't have it, yeah. eBay it is.
So wait, I got to go on eBay, get it, and then take it to the theater?
Yes, that's exactly. You have to explain to the Regal attendant why you're trying to sneak in an empty popcorn bucket. They're like, sir, it's supposed to be the other way around. You're like, no.
No.
I don't need the popcorn, just the bucket.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh, no. Well, that has to be laser blasted out as well. Oh, God. Yeah, the Dune popcorn bucket. It's like, Chris, can you give me, like, is there another example in like,
no.
Oh, God. Do you guys remember the episode of Chappelle Show where it's like moments in like dating history?
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of that. It's like it's like a bit. It's like a Mad TV sketch that came to life. It's like we truly live in the worst timeline.
The Dune popcorn bucket kind of reminds me of like this was not a theater thing, but it kind of reminds me of the Jar Jar like tongue lolly.
Oh yeah.
You get to make out with Jar Jar.
Yeah, that thing, I've been looking at those on eBay for no particular reason, and they're like $80, no candy, and like $200 with candy, and the candy looks so gnarly by now, as you can possibly imagine.
I just cannot wait to get them like years from now with the popcorn in them. Still.
Chris is like, one ticket for Dune, please. I can't even say it. Dune 2, please. With a popcorn bucket in one hand, Jar Jar lollipop on the other.
Well, it's like if I could get that popcorn bucket here, we don't have AMC, like I said, but I'd be going up and I'd be like, oh, I'll get that bucket, but no popcorn in it, please. I don't know how many guys are going to do that, but I don't need real popcorn in my
Too many.
This is a collectible, sir. I don't need popcorn dust in there.
Still put the butter in though.
That has to, man, so many. Don't laser blast that one out.
Oh boy. We jumped the shark on that one.
I'm so glad I'm actually making notes this time. You know, it takes so long when I don't.
Ooh, all right, we're gonna end it on a high note. So concludes this episode of the Knights of Vader, a Dune Popcorn Bucket 2 podcast. Check out the Facebook group, type Knights of Vader in the Facebook, and you will find us there waiting for you. At KOV Podcast on Instagram. Message Chris to see what his address is so you can send him a Dune 2 Popcorn Bucket. If you like what you hear, please rate us on Spotify and leave us a review on iTunes. Any sort of feedback, preferably one of the 5 out of 5 variety, is certainly appreciated. Thank you to An Inspiriority Complex providing our theme song. Check out the show notes to hear more from them. If you want to hear more from me, you are unfortunately stuck with this podcast because I, much like you, are still waiting for Monstober to get posted on Cinemoddities.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's still Monster. Roberto only posted the inaugural episode of Monstober 2023, and there's still 4 episodes that are just weirdly in the world between worlds right now. But when you are not waiting for more Cinemoddities, Jason Kelsey, where can people find you?
You can find me whenever I decide to actually do another episode of ZengThis. No, we'll be coming back shortly. Yeah, you can find me on there talking nerdy stuff, and you can also find me and my brother talking about our life and football, whatever that podcast is that Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey do.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they have a podcast.
Of course they do. Everybody's got a gimmick these days. Joe, when you are not too busy destroying retail, what are you up to?
I'm trying to find a perfect background for Kyle Kestis in the Titan sub so we could post on the Knights of Vader Facebook page. That's what I'll be doing the rest of the night tonight. So more to come on that one. Living large. I'm living the dream right now. So
Joe, you got to position him like Slim Pickens in Doctor Strangelove, like riding it down like a swoosh of like waters and bubbles just behind him as he rides it down to the like seabed floor.
That's exactly what I needed. Thank you, Zack.
I try. And Chris, when you're too busy lamenting the fact that there are no AMCs in the Great North, what are you up to?
Well, you know, I mentioned it earlier. Everybody loves our good buddy Rus, who occasionally co-hosts with us. If you want to hear me and him at the same time, you can check out the Unbelievers live stream from February 23rd. And that's it for me.
All right, folks. Good night, but not goodbye. And as always, may the force be with you.